Shalom. I give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this word. I just came across this article from SputnikNews.com. Saw this war, war drums are being beaten, wars and rumors of wars going on now with Russia, all that's starting to heat up again. And you have this guy, the Pentagon chief, that came out and said this conflict with Russia is not inevitable. Still time for diplomacy. And that's the title of this article. Pentagon Chief Austin says conflict with Russia is not inevitable. Still time for diplomacy. And that's not true, So this article was dated, it says 9 hours ago, but today's date is January 28th. We know that's not true because, this conflict is biblical prophecy, So this war must come to pass. If you look up that word, inevitable, it means unavoidable, so that this conflict is unavoidable because the scripture says it's going to come to pass. But reading on, it's conflict with Russia is not inevitable. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has announced conflict is not inevitable. There is time and space for diplomacy. I don't think the diplomacy and all that's gonna prevent this war from starting. That's not true, Speaking at a briefing in Washington on Friday, the United States in lockstep with our allies and partners has offered Russia a path away from crisis and toward greater security. And the Department of Defense will continue to support these diplomatic efforts. The Pentagon chief emphasized that U.S. troops had not yet departed for Ukraine and suggested that Washington remains committed to providing Kiev with various forms of security assistance at the stage, including more military aid over the past year than any previous time. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But the point is that they're trying to use their diplomacy to stop the war, but it's not gonna stop. Right now, the Most High is just holding back the destruction until the elect is sealed up, and then that's when all the destruction is gonna happen. But each year, as we move closer and closer, they recently moved up the so-called doomsday clock up to 100 seconds to midnight. And they've been kind of really been moving it up since 2010. It was it's 6 minutes to midnight in 2010, 5 minutes to midnight 2012, 2 minutes 2018, and 2020 it's 100 seconds to midnight. So they've been working on this thing for a while. They knew that this day was going to come. And we're right here, 2021, 100 seconds to midnight. Just represents once this clock strikes midnight, that's when the nuclear destruction is going to strike, in which it will. But the first scripture is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. That woe represents, destruction. The second war was past, so let's talk about, World War II. The third war, is coming quickly. That war with Russia, the nuclear war with Iran and Russia being a guard unto Iran. Seems like every day there's a new story coming up about what's going on in the Middle East, So there's just, a few more prophecies left. Next scripture is Revelation 7 and 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. Yeah, those winds are talking about that destruction. The time of Jacob's trouble, and ultimately that nuclear destruction. You know, Malachi prophesied that it was a day that shall burn as an oven. The book of Malachi. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. Yeah, this elect hasn't been sealed up yet. So that's why they feel that there's more time and there's no diplomacy, that it's not inevitable, but it is inevitable, meaning it's unavoidable. Can't avoid, this war, this last World War III, and ultimately this nuclear destruction. Next scripture is Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, and let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Yeah, blow the trumpet. What's the trumpet? It was truth. These prophecies to sound the alarm to his holy mountain, to Israel, to 12 tribes, let them know to get right, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It's the day of the Lord, this nuclear destruction, this doomsday, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and is strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So there's never going to be another day like this that's coming up. This destruction will never be another day. There never was a day like it, and there'll never ever be a day like it ever again. That's how bad it's going to be. It's described as a day of darkness and gloominess. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Yeah, that fire, what's that talking about? The missiles, man. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Yeah, the land, before these missiles hit, the land is as a garden of Eden, There's all sorts of trees and lush gardens all over this place, but afterwards it's going to be like desert. It's going to be a desolate wilderness, man. Yeah, nothing will dwell here ever again. But yeah, I just want to bring that out. I was going through some articles and came across this about how they still have that hope, but there is no hope, and not for the only people that have the hope is the elect, the servants. They'll have the seal of the power in their foreheads. They're sealed, the servants of our power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, in their foreheads. 144,000, the elect. They're the only ones with the hope, Yeah, so it's building up, man. This right here says the Pentagon chief claims that Russia has now amassed a military capable to invade Ukraine. So yeah, it is inevitable. All right, you can't avoid this. Why? Because it's a biblical prophecy. The Lord wants this to come to pass, and this destruction has to come to pass, because our kingdom can't come until this kingdom falls. So yeah, with that, shalom.